Hi, I hope I'm audible. So let me just check once. It is not live yet. Anyway. Okay, so before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So today we are going to discuss about some of the important questions that you can refer for your biology exam, that is board exam class 10. Okay, so before I start, let me just start with 1 second. There is some connection issue. Alright, so join with us in Telegram for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE Class 10 Biology and Unacademy ICSE and ISE both. So this link you will find in the description box. Okay, so you can join this channel as well. So special classes will be conducting special classes, that is which are absolutely free, so you can learn from your favorite educator for free. Engage with educators via polls. Clear your doubts in the live special classes. Okay, so for the top special class, you can visit the link in the description. Your doubt in this session. Alright. Then complete syllabus will be covered. Mentorship and guidance is given. Study material is given. Practice tests, live test series and batch courses. So you will have access to all these batches. There is a batch in Hindi, English as well as a English. So you will have access to all the batches once you take the subscription. So along with that, there is daily practice section and weekly mock test series. Live quizzes, daily MCQ and subjective test series will also be there. Okay, so if you are planning to take the subscription, so since you are in class 10, okay, so you can try with 3 months of subscription. For class 9 this is not them. Okay, so directly they can try with 6 months. For class 10 you can try with 3 months, or maybe you, since those who are entering class 10 right away, okay, so it is for them. You can also go for 12 months of subscription, where you will be getting 10% discount on the subscription with the referral code Vani YT. Okay, so this is my referral code. So with this referral code you will be getting a 10% discount on the subscription of it is. All right, so let's get started. So this particular, the disclaimer, so this is taken from ICSE teacher training program for biology. Okay, so these questions are important. You can practice this question. Like every year teachers are trained in schools, those who are teaching in ICSE school, so they'll be trained. Okay, like what type of evaluation will be done and other things. So based on that, this is the program this year, the program which was run. So based on that, the teacher training program was there, ICSE teacher training program. So these questions are from the biology, okay, which you can concentrate on. So before that, let's see this one, important instructions. Just a second. Okay, all right, so let's start with this. So important instruction, this exam will be based on chapters specified for the second semester. Okay, so this is only for second semester, that is term 2 exam. So since you have my biology exam in May, okay, so we are discussing about this one. So this exam will be based only on the chapters specified for the second semester. No questions will be asked from any topic mentioned in the first semester, so you need to know this. Alright, now this paper contains 2 sections. So there are 2 sections. So section A is compulsory, so you need to attend this compulsorily. Like only one question will be there, that is question number 1, which you need to attend compulsorily, which is of 10 marks. So that is name the following type of question will be there. Okay, and it is of 10 marks. Now having MCQ, so this is a MCQ. Rest of it, that is section B, has 5 questions, all right, that is question number 2 to question number 6, from where any 3 questions have to be attempted. So out of 5 you will be writing 3. So how much? So 3 here, 30 marks, and from the section A it is 1 question. So total of 40 marks. Okay, so it will be of 40 marks, and the timing given for you is 1.5 hours. Okay, so this is for writing your exam. The question paper reading time. Okay, so reading time for question paper. So let me just write here. Just a second. Yeah. So question paper reading time is about 10 minutes. So 10 minutes before they'll give you this particular question paper. Okay. So now each question has 4 subparts, and this carries about 10 marks. So there is, each question is having a subpart. So it is basically overall from each of these questions, it will be 10 marks. So 1 and 2 part carries 2 marks each, while the third and the fourth part carries the 3 marks each. Okay. So now you can observe. So in question number 2 to 6, what they have mentioned. So your question number, let's say question number 2. Okay. So that is a subjective you are going to write. So first and the second part in that question number 2 will be of 2 marks. The third and the fourth question will be of 3 marks. So what you need to note here, so you need to make concentration, like you need to concentrate on 2 marks question as well as 3 marks questions. Okay, so this one is coming directly from your ICSE board. So I have written it already here. So this is taken from the ICSE teacher training program for biology, which is conducted every year. So make sure that you are concentrating on 2 marks and 3 marks here. Okay, and also 1 mark here for the section A. So moving on to next one, the time given for reading the question paper is 10 minutes. Okay, so this is the 10 minutes which is mentioned. So time allowed for writing the paper is 1.5 hours. So total of 40 marks, 1.5 hours you will be writing, and the reading time is 10 minutes. So let's have a look at this one. So bifurcated syllabus for semester 2. So human anatomy and physiology. So you have these 4 chapters, that is circulatory system, excretory system, nervous system, and sense organ. So sense organ you will be studying only about the eye and the ear. Then endocrine system is there. So let's see this. So things to remember. So what things you need to remember? So this is related to terms for definition. So you need to know these definitions. Am I audible or visible? Okay, yes. Alright, so let's see. So related terms for definition. So you need to concentrate. So this PDF I'll send on my telegram. Okay, so this PDF I'll send on my telegram. So you can, today itself I'll send it today. Okay, because you have your exams also. So you can search Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 biology. Okay, so there I'll send this PDF so you can practice using this PDF. So these questions, that is mainly for the definition. Okay, so this one you can refer for the definition. Alright, so this one I'll complete. So you can search this channel and you can join this telegram channel. So this is my telegram channel. Okay. Hi Ashutosh. Okay, so let's see this one. So there is lymph and tissue fluid. So you need to know what is lymph, what is tissue fluid. Then diapedesis. So how exactly, that is, this WBC is oozing across, or it is moving across the capillary and reaching the site where the WBC is present. So that is the diapedesis. Phagocytosis, you need to know the definition. The systole and the diastole. So what exactly is systole? Systole is contraction, diastole is relaxation. So what happens? What are the changes that are occurring in a heart during a ventricular systole, atrial systole? So that you need to concentrate on. Then what is pulse? What is blood pressure? The RH factor also. Okay, so RH factor, so how is it going to play a role in pregnancy? So that you need to know, but this one is anyway with respect to definition. Then this is actually a antigen that is present on the surface of a RBC. Okay, so which will, the positive negative blood group when we mention, so RH factor is the one. So if it is present, so we call that the human is having a positive blood. If it is negative, I mean if it is, if the individual is not having, so it is negative, that is RH negative. So what is serum? Yes, anybody? What is serum? So this also you need to know. Okay, myocardial infarction. What is myocardial infarction? Any of you have any idea? No? Ridhima or Ashutosh? Alright, so anyway, serum you need to know. That is, the blood serum when we mention, it is the plasma itself without the fibrinogen. That means the clotting factors are not there. So without the clotting factor, this plasma, what is this? So that itself is serum. So this is basically a biological term we can say for heart attack. So why exactly this occurs? So if there is a insufficient oxygen supply done to your walls of the or muscles of the heart, so in that case there is a chance that myocardial infarction or a heart attack can occur. Okay, so angina pectoris is because of a blockage. So there is, again, this is also insufficient oxygen supply itself, but there is a sharp pain that you can find. Okay, so this is the angina pectoris, and so there can be blockage in the blood vessel also. So pacemaker, which is a SAN, sinoatrial node. So this you need to know. Okay, what is its function? So it is going to initiate the impulse. Okay, so that is for starting a heartbeat. So this is need to be known. And from circulatory system, so it is ultrafiltration. Okay, yes, anybody has any idea what is ultrafiltration? All right. So you need to know ultrafiltration, selective reabsorption process from excretory system. Then from same chapter, it is osmoregulation, maintaining the osmotic balance of the blood. Then micturition, that is urination. So these are the definition that you need to practice on. Now again from the definition part, so of nervous system. So what is synapse and synaptic cleft? Okay, stimulus and impulse. So stimulus is any external agent or an internal agent which can bring about a response. So that is a stimulus. Okay, so impulse you need to know. Then receptors, effectors. So effector you know, right, which is effector. So now when we mention effector is present, this is basically, I'll just write. So this can be muscle. Okay, so this can be muscle or this can be gland. All right, so you can consider this one. So that is with respect to the effector which is going to bring about the response. Then meninges. So what are these meninges? The gyri and the sulci. The corpus callosum. So what is this corpus callosum? Okay, so corpus luteum is there in reproductive system. Corpus callosum is actually the one that is, connecting or transferring information from right cerebral hemisphere to the left one, from left to the right one. So that is done by the corpus callosum. Then spinal nerve and cranial nerve. So how many spinal nerves are there? So you can find about 31 pairs here. Okay, so this is about 31 pairs. This is about 12 pairs of cranial nerve you can find. All right, so then voluntary and involuntary action you need to know. Natural and conditioned reflex also you need to know. Okay, so then reflex action, the reflex arc. So what is it? Then accommodation of the eye. Okay, along with that the stereoscopic vision, the light and the dark adaptation. So these are the terms of definition which you need to know. Okay, so now related terms for definition from the endocrine system. So what is endocrine and exocrine gland? Okay, so the different hormones. Okay, so what are those hormones? What is the definition of hormone? How exactly Addison's disease is caused, then Cushing syndrome is caused, islets of Langerhans definition, like what exactly, so whether it is the endocrine part or whether it is the exocrine part, so that you need to know. Then what is the difference? So with respect to definition we are studying here. So if you know the definition, yes, you can write the the differences also. So diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. So this one is anyway, this is water diabetes. Okay, so this one is water diabetes. So rest of the things are anyway, this is with respect to hormones. So now this is with respect to hormone ADH. So this is with respect to hormone insulin. All right, so this you need to know. So insulin shock is what, then tropic hormone is what. Okay, so these you need to know. Now differences. So what differences are you going to practice? Okay, so from all the chapters make sure that the differences that you are going to study, so those are basically the RBC and WBC differences. So this PDF I'll send on my Telegram group. Okay, so you can download it from my Telegram group. So there you will get it. Today itself I'll send. So granulocytes and granulocyte differences, the artery and the vein. Okay, then there is pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein you need to know. Renal artery, renal vein, what is the difference? Hepatic artery, hepatic vein. Okay, systole and diastole, universal donor and universal acceptor, then pulmonary and systemic circulation, afferent and efferent artery also. Where do you find this one? So this is at the kidneys. Okay, so this is at the kidney, you find this mainly at the Bowman's capsule. So afferent and the efferent arteriole, sensory and motor nerves. So this is the differences in brain and the spinal cord, the parts of a neuron. Then how exactly, so let's say the gray matter. So this is with respect to gray matter and white matter arrangement. So parts of a neuron they have asked. So gray and white matter. So based on that you need to differentiate between the brain and the spinal cord. Then cranial and spinal nerves, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So these are the things that you will be practicing. Okay, that is differences mainly. Now other than that, so there is a natural and conditioned reflex as well. Okay, then yellow spot, blind spot is there. Just a second. Yeah, so yellow spot, blind spot is there. Then aqueous chamber, vitreous chamber differences you need to know. Aqueous humor, so this is actually this one is watery fluid. Okay, so this is a watery fluid, whereas this vitreous humor, when we mention, so this is a jelly like fluid. Okay, so you need to know the differences. So this one is jelly like fluid. So aqueous humor is present in aqueous chamber, vitreous humor is present in vitreous chamber. Okay, light and dark adaptation differences, myopia and hyperopia. Okay, endocrine exocrine gland, hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia, diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. So let's have a look at the location. Just a second. Okay, so let's have a look at the location. All right, so now tricuspid valve between the right auricle, right ventricle. Okay, so where exactly this is present. Then there is mitral valve. Okay, so that is between the left auricle and then the left ventricle. Okay, pericardial fluid, so this is in between pericardial layers. Yeah, so in between pericardial layers, so there is the outer pericardium, inner pericardium, between those membranes. So two pericardial layers are there. So between them you can find a fluid which acts as a shock absorber, or we can say this is going to provide you a protection against the mechanical injuries. Then pulmonary semilunar valve is there. Okay, aortic semilunar valve. So these are all locations that you need to know. All right. So locations with respect to different parts of a body. Yeah. So now other than that, so there is a pacemaker. So what does the pacemaker do? So this is in the walls of the right auricle near the opening of the superior vena cava. So this is with location. So you need not write function here. So you need to write like where exactly this is present. Then chordae tendineae. So where do you find a chordae tendineae? So chordae tendineae is found, one second, I'll just change this pen color. Yeah, so this is from papillary muscles of the ventricle. So arising from papillary muscles of the ventricle, you can find the chordae tendineae. All right. Then Malpighian capsule is there, which is a renal cortex of a kidney. All right. Then proximal convoluted tubule. This is also in the cortex region. The distal convoluted tubule is also in the cortex region. The Henle's loop in the medulla region of the kidney. Then medulla oblongata at the base of the skull or beneath the midbrain and the pons. Okay. So now moving on to the next one. So that is a location itself. So cerebrospinal fluid location. So this is in the space between meninges of brain or a spinal cord. Then corpus callosum function. Okay, sorry, location. All right. Then cerebellum. So just okay. So you can see here sheet of fiber present between the two cerebral hemisphere is the corpus callosum. All right. Now there is cerebellum. So cerebellum just at the base and under the cerebrum. Okay. So these locations, try to write them exactly the one which is given in your textbook. So just at the base it is present, the cerebellum. Okay. And under the cerebrum we can find. So now pons varoli. So this is the center of hindbrain below the cerebellum. So spinal cord when we mention, so this extends from medulla of the brain and ends at the second lumbar vertebrae. Okay, so this is at the spinal cord when we mention, so this is extending from the medulla of the brain itself. Okay, over there, and then it ends at the second lumbar vertebra. Now moving on to yellow spot. So where do you find a yellow spot? So this lies at the back of the eye. Okay, so almost at the center, that is image formation, where on the retina you can see a image formation, right? So that retina itself we are talking about. So yellow spot, which is also called as a macula lutea. Okay, or this is also called as the fovea centralis. So these alternate names also you need to remember. They can ask, instead of a yellow spot, they can say macula lutea, or they can ask fovea centralis. So you don't keep on thinking like what exactly is fovea centralis. So make sure that you know every alternate names. Okay, so now moving on to blind spot. So this is lateral to the yellow spot on the nasal side. Now lacrimal gland when we mention, so this is at the upper sideward portion. So you got this, I guess. So now let's say this is a eye. Okay, so here is this eye. So in that case, this upper side part, what is that? So this is where you can find a lacrimal gland. So this is at the upper sideward portion of the eye orbit. Now aqueous chamber in between cornea and lens. Okay, vitreous chamber behind the eyelids. All right, so now organ of corti. So this is middle or median canal of the cochlea in internal ear. So this is the one. So now this one is a cochlea. Okay, so this is a cochlea like this. So you can see this is the cochlea, which is having about 2.5 term. All right, so now in this cochlea, if we try to draw it straight, okay, instead of a spiral structure like this, like just like a snail, so we will try to draw this one. So this is the extended form, where you will see there is a oval window and then round window you can find. So there is a interconnection. So in that case, now this part what you see here, so this is the basilar membrane, where you can see the organ of corti is placed. Okay, so organ of corti you can find in here. So that itself is the sensory cell. So organ of corti, so it is found in the median canal, because this one is a median canal. So this is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so median canal is this one. So this is a tymphanal canal, and this one is vestibule canal, and this is tymphanal canal. So based on that the name is given. So now there is a basilar membrane placed onto which you can find a different cell, that is sensory cell. So moving on to next one, what exactly is basilar membrane location? So between the median canal and the tymphanal canal of the cochlea. So you can see here the median canal is this one, the tymphanal canal is this one. So between the median canal and then tymphanal canal, so this layer what you see, so that exactly is the basilar membrane. Okay, so now thyroid gland in front of the neck, so you can find a thyroid gland here. Okay, so that is just below the larynx. So now let's say this is the neck. All right, so here is this glottis and epiglottis, the cartilaginous structure is there. Okay, so below this you can find the below the voice box, you can find this butterfly shaped structure. Okay, so this is now a butterfly shaped structure which is responsible for production of a thyroxine hormone. So this is in front of the neck, just below the larynx you can find a thyroid gland. So same way adrenal gland, when we mention, so kidney is there. Okay, so on a kidney it is a cap like structure. All right, and so a cap like structure on the kidney, so or on top of each kidney is the adrenal gland. So you can they can ask you, like when you are writing, so they can ask you what is the secretion from the medulla part and what is secretion from the cortex part. So you need to know that, that is the hormone. Okay, now pancreas, when we mention, so this is present behind the stomach near the opening of the duodenum. So there is a hepatic pancreatic duct, like the duct is coming from the liver, the duct is coming from the gallbladder also. So all of these ducts are joined, and now through the pancreatic duct, the hepatic pancreatic duct or hepatopancreatic duct, the content, so that is pancreatic juice, will be emptied into the duodenum. All right, so now pituitary gland, so this hangs from the base of the midbrain below hypothalamus. So in this case, let's say this is a midbrain part. So there is a hypothalamus, so thalamus is there. All right, so this one is hypothalamus. So hanging from the hypothalamus you can find a pituitary gland there. Okay, so this one is the pituitary gland, and this is having a partition, so there is anterior pituitary. Okay, so this one, let's say this is anterior pituitary, and this one is posterior pituitary. So you will find the different the lobes of a pituitary gland, and they are responsible for production of different hormones. Okay, okay, so you can see this one also. So what might be the reason for this? So this PDF I can send. Okay, so this PDF I'll send on my Telegram channel, that is Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 Biology. So you can search that and join my Telegram channel. So I'll be sending this PDF there. Okay, so let's see this. Just a second. Any of you have any doubt? Okay, so you can have a look at this one now. Okay, so till now what we discussed, so mainly we discussed about the location. Okay, so some of the location, the differences between we have seen. Okay, and then the related terms for the definition. So diagram based question I have already discussed, so you can all watch those diagram based questions from there. Okay, so one more session I'll conduct from all, like all the important diagram based question that you can consider for your term 2 exam. So maybe I'll conduct it in next week, or if it is possible I'll do that. Okay, so you can just have a look at this. So few examples of give reasons. Hi Barenya, good evening. So sleeping in non-ventilated rooms with burning furnaces may result in death. Okay, so you need to give a reason for this. If an RH negative mother, so any of you know the reason, you can also type in your reasons here. Okay, so if an RH negative mother carries a RH positive child, it causes problem leading to death of the fetus because mother is never exposed to a positive type of antigen from the fetus, okay, or in her own body itself. She was not having this positive, that is RH antigen. Now if the child is taking a birth in her womb, so this is exposing, her body is exposing a positive type of, or RH type of antibody. So in that case, mother will think that this is something foreign, and the antibodies are sent in order to destroy that. So it has to be treated. So now people have a common belief that human heart is located on the left side of the chest. Okay, so what might be the reason for this one? Any idea? All right. So then, ventricles. So ventricles have thick and more muscular walls than the auricles. Then what would be the reason for this one? So all these important questions I have added. So anything that you don't know, you can ask me. Okay. So these are all important give reason questions that you can concentrate on. Okay. So ventricles are having a thicker muscular wall as compared to auricle, because from the ventricle itself, the pumping of the blood has to occur to different parts of a body. Okay, so auricle is just pumping a blood to ventricle, ventricle is pumping the blood to different parts of a body. So that is why the left ventricle mainly can have a much more thicker muscular wall. Okay, so now mature mammalian RBC, okay, so lacks nucleus and a mitochondria. So this one to increase the surface area. So this one is to avoid oxygen usage. Okay, so this is to avoid oxy usage. Okay, so for that reason the mitochondria is not there. Then vitamin K is essential for process of blood clotting. Okay, so which is, why is it responsible, like what is exactly going to work in presence of vitamin K, so that you need to mention. So those clotting factors, for them to work effectively, always a vitamin K is essential, and that is why it is this particular vitamin is required for clotting factors to form a clot. Okay, so now right side kidney is at slightly lower level than the left one. Any idea what is the reason for this one? Any of you? Why right side of kidney is at a slightly lower level than the left one? No idea? Okay, so this one is basically, as there is hi Tanvir, good evening. Yeah, hi Akshay, due to presence of liver, yes, that's right. Okay, as liver occupies space on the right side, yes, that's right. Okay, yes, that's right. Okay, so now these are the questions that you can concentrate on. So this PDF you can take from the Telegram channel. Okay, so right side of the kidney is at a slightly lower level than the left one. Then renal cortex of the kidney show a dotted appearance. So what is the reason for renal cortex of a kidney to be seen as a dotted appearance? Okay, so hello Shri Vatsa. No idea? Okay, anyway, so renal cortex of the kidney show a dotted appearance. So when you observe a kidney, so it is, basically there is this part, the renal cortex part. So this one is a cortex part. Okay, So there is PCT arranged, okay, DCT is arranged, and then there is Bowman's capsule. So all these you can find the Bowman's capsule, which will make it appear like a dot. Okay, so this is just a folding, right? So just foldings are there. So when we observe it from far, okay, so these appear just like a dot. But the Henley's loop is this one, the collecting duct when we mention. So they are giving appearance of striations, okay. So that is because of Henley's loop and then a collecting duct. So don't be tensed, okay. So don't be tensed about board exam, okay. So it is all easy. So it will all be easy. So in biology, at least you have only 4 chapters. All right. So due to presence of PCT and DCT, yes, that's right. Okay. So renal medulla of kidney show a striped appearance. So that is again with respect to. So this I already told. 1 second. Where is the cursor? Okay. So this one. Okay. So here, let me just change the color a little. Yeah. So here in this case, the striped appearance is because of the Henley's loop and then the collecting duct. So we urinate fewer times in summer than in winter, and the urine is generally thicker. So what is the reason for this one? Yes, so due to presence of Henley's loop, that's right, and due to renal pyramids. So this one, yes, so that is right. Okay. So next question is we urinate, that is very less times in case of summer than in winter. Okay. So this is what might be the reason, and the urine is generally thicker also. So that is, instead of thicker, we can also say that the urine is somewhat concentrated. We can say concentrated, because in winter there is no perspiration occurring, but in case of summer there is a perspiration that occurs, that is sweating. Okay, so you can see sweating in summer, so where some amount of urea is also lost. But other than that, since most of the body fluid we are losing through perspiration only, so we urinate less in case of summer, and in winter this is not the case. So, or there is no sweating, so whatever water content along with the urea that has to be removed, so that has to be removed through the urine only, because there is no sweating. So in that case, the summer will be more urination. So now if we donate one kidney to a needy person, so it would not cause any harm to us. So what might be the reason? Yes. Okay. So now if we donate one kidney to a needy person, so it would not cause any harm to us. So in that case, one kidney alone can manage. Okay. So one kidney alone can manage. Just a second. Because the kidney, when we mention, so it is having about so there is, in each kidney you can find about 1 million nephron. Okay, so there are about 1 million nephron that you can find in each kidney, and they are much more enough, that is, they are sufficient to carry out the process, that is the urine formation. So if even if one is not there, the only one kidney can itself manage. But again, if both the kidneys are filled, then there is no option, so one can go for the dialysis. Okay, so it is necessary to maintain a normal osmotic concentration of the blood. So why is it necessary to maintain the normal osmotic concentration of the blood? Any idea? So normal osmotic concentration of a blood has to be maintained, because as the ultrafiltration process occurs. Okay, so as the ultrafiltration process occurs, so most of the fluid which is there in the plasma, I mean the blood, so that is all filtered. Okay, so most of the fluid is filtered. Now we need to maintain the normal concentration of a blood with required amount of salts, required amount of glucose. So in that case, basically reabsorption will occur. So it is necessary to maintain the normal osmotic concentration of blood. So to maintain a normal concentration of a blood again, so that the filtration can occur easily. So whatever amount of urea is there, so that can be removed. Okay, so that is by filtration again. So alcoholic person when drunk walks clumsily on road. That is because the cerebellum is not able to take the signal, that is impulse, because of the movement. So there is a clumsy movement. So that clumsy movement is because the cerebellum is not able to process that particular alcohol. So it is going, alcohol is mainly going to affect the cerebellum. So in that case, one second, wait, okay, so this one is cerebellum. Okay, so in that case what will happen, so there is actually muscular coordination is done with the help of a cerebellum itself. So now since the alcohol is affecting on the cerebellum, so clumsy walk we can find. So that is mainly because coordination is not occurring properly. So an injury to medulla oblongata causes an immediate death. Yes, due to improper functioning of the cerebellum. Yes, that's right. Okay. Yes, so an injury to medulla oblongata causes an immediate death because medulla oblongata controls the many internal organs. Okay, so internal organs are under the control of this one, that is breathing, then peristalsis might be there, or heartbeat. So all these functions are, yes, involuntary functions. Yes, that's right. So it is controlling all the involuntary functions which is of the internal organs. So in that case we don't have a control over this. And if the medulla oblongata is affected, so there is a chance that the breathing mechanism can get affected, or maybe heartbeat can get affected. So it can cause an immediate death. So now when a person moves from a brightly lit area to a dark room, so he experiences difficulty in seeing objects for a short while. So from where to where he is moving? He is moving from a lit area. So in lit area what were working? In lit area cones were working. Okay, so now he moves to a dark area. So the rods which are having the pigment rhodopsin which is them, so it takes a little time for individual to regenerate this rhodopsin which was bleached earlier. So that we call, so after he reaches the dark area, so for a short while, so the individual is going to feel the difficulty in seeing things. Okay, only for few seconds. So that can be because the rhodopsin is taking a little of time to regenerate. So once the rhodopsin is regenerated, so this dark condition, the rods are going to work, which will give us a black and white vision. Okay, so rods will work with very less light, there is no much light required, so that is darker condition we can observe. So these are sensitive to dark light, whereas this cone is sensitive to bright light. Okay, all right. So now when a person moves from a dark room to a brightly lit area, so he experiences a dazzling effect for a short period. So this also is the reason. So here you can see the iodopsin pigment. So for the iodopsin pigment to regenerate, it would take a little time. So there is a adjustment that will be done as he moves from dark to light area. So cones have to regenerate this iodopsin pigment for one to see clearly. So you cannot make out the red, violet, purple flowers in a garden that is on a moonlit night. What is the reason for this one? 17th? Any of you or all of you? I'll wait for you all to answer. No idea? Alright, so now you cannot make out the red, violet and purple color in a garden that is on a moonlit night because rods are working there. Okay, so it is only rods which are working under the condition. So rhodopsin pigment is responsible only for the black and white vision. Okay, so in that case what can be seen, since rhodopsin is working there and there is no iodopsin because it is only the moonlit night, there is no other light. Okay, so in that case what will happen, since there is no other light, the cones are not working, and cones are the one which are helping us in seeing a different colors. Okay, so we can see different colors mainly because of the cone. But here this is not color blindness. Okay, so this one is not color blindness, this is with respect to pigment, because only light available is moon. Okay, so moonlight is available, there is no other light, so that is a dark light, like dim light it is. So under dim light what will happen, so there is no iodopsin pigment, so iodopsin pigment won't work under this because iodopsin will work only in presence of a bright light, so this is sensitive to bright light. Rhodopsin will work only under the dark light, so dark light there is no color differentiation because rods are working, the cones will work with the iodopsin, so there is no color differences. Okay, so now if your eustachian tube gets blocked, it causes rupturing of the tympanum, giving a popping or cracking sound. So what is happening? Okay, so now let's say this is a eustachian, this is a eardrum. Okay, so this side is a eustachian tube. Okay, so now this eustachian tube is going to make sure that this ear, the tympanum which is there, so that will oscillate freely. Okay, so oscillation is done freely because eustachian tube is going to maintain that pressure on the both the sides equal. Okay, so in that case the equal movement will be there. But here if the eustachian tube is blocked, so pressure maintenance is not done, so there is no free movement. If the free movement is not there, then we cannot hear things. Okay, so if three tinier ossicles are replaced by one big bone, so there is loss of hearing. So what is the cause for this one? Okay, so now there is a question. One second. Just a second. Yeah, so if three tiny ear ossicles are replaced by one big bone, so there is a loss of hearing mainly because the amplification is done by the ear ossicle. So now as the amplification is not occurring because only one big bone is there, so if three tiny balls, bones are there, so what will happen? So they'll hit each other. Okay, so there will be hitting action each other, so amplification of the sound wave is done. But here when we mention if it is only with one big bone instead of three bones, so there is no amplification. So as the amplification is not occurring, so there is no proper hearing. Okay, so if you spin round and round for a short while and then you stop, so you feel dizzy. What is the reason for this one? Just a second. So there is something wrong with my laptop. It is not moving writing. Just a second, I'll come back. Yeah, I think so. Yes, there was a technical issue from my side. Okay, so I had to close it all and reopen. All right. Anyway, so we were discussing about this one. So if you spin round and round for a short while and then stop, so you feel dizzy. That is because the semicircular canal. Okay, so semicircular canal is having a endolymph. Okay, so there is a endolymph that is present in the semicircular canal, and this one is responsible for the dynamic balance of the body. Okay, so dynamic balance of the body, when we mention, so when you are moving, the body balance will be maintained. So that is because of the endolymph which keeps on moving, and the sensory cells at the ampulla region. Okay, so sensory cells at the ampulla region, so they are going to sense this endolymph movement in the semicircular canal, which will be taken to the brain for maintaining the body balance. Hi Sindhu. Okay, Sidhu it is. Good morning. Alright, so adrenaline hormone is commonly said to be an emergency hormone. Why? Okay, so why exactly do we call adrenal hormone as an emergency hormone? Is because this is a fight or a flight hormone. Okay, so this one is fight or a flight hormone. That means it will make your body ready for the action. Okay, so that is, let's say you are facing a danger, so either you are getting a large amount of energy supply. Okay, so you are getting a large amount of energy supply either for running away from that or either for fighting that. So in that case, this is with respect to tiger, we or any animal, wild animal, we take the example. So when you face a tiger, so basically you are either fighting it or running it. So fight is fight, flight is running. Okay, so in that case, for both the actions you require a lot of energy, and this adrenaline is produced in an emergency. This is an emergency condition itself, and a lot of energy supply will be done. All right, so any doubt you have? So we discussed in today's class, so I'll just show you from the very beginning like what all we saw. Okay, so these questions you can practice on. So this is the different definitions we have seen. Okay, so definition related to nervous system, definition related to endocrine system. Okay, then differences, so differences between RBC and WBC, so different terms are given here from all the 4 chapters, so concentrate on that. Difference between these parts you need to concentrate on. Locations, we have seen location from different parts again. Okay, so that you can concentrate on. Then you need to see the give reasons question, because it is a subjective, so you will have a give reason question also, so concentrate on all of this. Okay, so all the best for your exams and for your good result. Okay, so before I end the session, let me just see about, so this one is a gladiators batch, which is an ongoing batch, so you will have an option to watch the recordings here. Okay, so you can watch the recordings once you take the subscription for the classes which are done. The rest of the classes anyway you can take up the live classes. The champions batch also same thing, it is all subject batch, but this is for term 2. Okay, so this is a term 2 batch. And there is a Hercules batch which just started on 20th of April, so you can watch the live session, and anyway for 2 sessions which are already done you can watch the recording. Okay, so if you are subscribing for class 10, you will be getting class 11 and 12 subscription also free. Okay, then this one is Titans batch, so this is all subject batch, so this started on 13th of April. All right, so introducing community, never miss on any update from your favorite educator, get session notes and practice material, share your feedback directly with the educator via poll. Okay, so in the link you will find the in the description you will find the link for the community. Okay, so Bucks Bounty, so this is opportunity for all learners to report any inappropriate content in the video, so be the first one to report a particular issue to claim your prize. Report any inappropriate content using the form in the description. So how you can watch my special classes, download the Unacademy Learner app, then click on get started, enter your mobile number and OTP, sign up using your email ID. So you can select the category 6 to 12, select the ICSE category, then select the preferred language that you would like to study in. Go to the description of this video and click on the special class link. Click on notify me to get notified about the class 10 minutes before. Use my code VANIYT. Okay, so this is my code. So you can use my code VANIYT to unlock the free products that are there on Unacademy, and also you can get 10% discount on the subscription using the code. Okay, so see you all in the next session. I hope you will practice all these questions that I have mentioned. So it is very important that you practice these questions for your exams as well, because this is coming from the ICSE board itself. So you can concentrate on this one. And anyway, this PDF I can send it on my Telegram channel, that is Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 Biology. Hi Poonam. Okay, so you can just look at that. Okay, so see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone. Thank you so much. Click on bell icon, subscribe to Unacademy channel, like and share the video, and download the Unacademy Learner app. The PDF you can download from the Telegram. Okay, so see you all. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you.